So every session we are going to start with taking a look at our setup help channel to see what our common problems and to point out to folks who just missed the answers that been there already. We will try to help them out to navigate the channel. So Dmitry, for example, just mentioned he is having issues with installing Android virtual device on his Apple Silicon Mac computer. Dmitry, we have quite a few successful students successful with installation of some of this kind. If you just go ahead and search, you will see the difference. So, or you can just use the search functionality and look for students who have succeeded with this task. You can, after that, for example, if you know the name, you can go to setup channel and tag this person. If you do @sign and the person's name, the person will receive notification, and you can say, hey, please help me, I'm struggling with that, what would be your suggestions, and blah blah blah. In our setup document, I don't know how useful it was because I do not have a chance to check it myself, but in creating Android emulator, so we have at the bottom we have a link that helps students from previous groups on setting up Android emulator in Mi-1 Mac. So you can just Google that as well. You can ask your peers for help as well in setup help. Then again, a second thing is I want to emphasize again, please do not direct message me unless I ask you or unless it's personal, because when you do, I read it. I do not have time right away to reply, and then I forgot who asked me that. And so if you are having issues, the best way to ask in setup help channel, and then this, I'm trying to monitor it, and you see me replying in this channel. So please better ask here. Whatever problems you are facing, ask there. There might be other students who will be able to help you, or I will stop by anyways and help you out. So the most common problem that we are currently facing is that our emulator gets killed. And some of you figured this out and you just free up some space because it could be one of the multiple reasons why your system is killing your emulator. So sometimes there is not enough space on your computer, and that's why. There was a suggestion to move Android SDK, if you're on Windows, to move Android SDK from C drive that might be already overwhelmed to E drive. And you can find this suggestion from Dmitry over here in our setup help. If you, and whatever you're facing the problem, just take a quick look. Maybe somebody else already had this problem, and maybe those people were able to figure this problem. So this is our most common thing. And I think I have posted. By the way, Dmitry, I think we found your best friend Irina Gavrilova. She was able to figure out Android emulator on Mi-1, so you can tag her here. Так. And so I'm trying to figure where did I post this link. Okay, I will, after class, I will repost it again over here in this setup channel, and I will ping this message so that it's going to be visible. It's going to be pinned over here with the link to Stack Overflow, where people with the same issue, Android emulator gets killed, are sharing what helped them, because some of you solve this problem by removing a couple of things from computer. Others would have to install additional components or different version of SDK, and it explains how to. So please, I will post it here, I promise you, and then just keep asking. I like that you ask here. I appreciate it, but you can also check what was already done by other folks and what helped them. So this is unfortunately, and again, you are the first group with this amount of people having this issue, and unfortunately there is not such a thing as one size fits all with this particular one, so it's not that straightforward. And in general, every time if you see an error, you're trying to do something, you are facing the error. And just copy paste it into Google search, and you'd be surprised how many people already have the same. And the most likely are going to land on stackoverflow.com website. And this website is not for mad housewives. This is a website where developers of different level or QA engineers of different levels are asking community for help. So you will see that even developers having issues with the same thing that we are dealing with. And again, you will be able to find your answer. If you had an issue, found an answer, also please share here in Setup Help, like for example, Dmitry did. So he tried it out, it worked for him, and he shared with colleagues. Appreciate it. Let me quickly check Slack. Android Studio, is it emulate? Tatiana, I do not understand the question, unfortunately. So I also reply to you what is CMD in informal chat and how to find it on your Windows computer. CMD is I'm on macOS, and every operating system that has UI site like graphic user interface also can be communicated through command line, because whatever we do on our computer with user interface can be done from command line. We can open files from command line. We can create files from command line. We can create directories from command line. All that you cover with Jana. With the only difference that you've been talking about Unix, Linux-based commands that are not going to work on Windows, right? So on Mac, we have this guy that called terminal, and that's how we can communicate to our computer or remote devices from command line. On Windows, it's called CMD. You have this search button in the left down corner. And if you start typing CMD, this guy will pop up, and you can open it up, and you can send comments from here. Yeah. If you try to install, as it was advised in our very first setup document, the Windows users with Android devices need to install OEM, Android Equipment Manufacturer drivers. If you didn't find it here, probably your phone just doesn't require that. I do not know. I mean, probably doesn't require it. So Tatiana has Huawei. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Should work. I do not see why. But let's see. So let me quickly check our extra class. Extra class does well. Let's continue. So I'm going to now talk about what we are going to cover during today's class. And we have a very busy schedule today. Maybe we will have to stay a few minutes later, so sorry in advance. So we went over questions in setup help, and I will also give you a couple of tips as soon as I will have my Android Studio. So what actually also helps people and me. If I go to AVD Manager, so if some of you would face or did face the information, so you run ADB devices and it says your emulator is offline. Close it and try to restart it. Maybe, by the way, people with skilled emulators also applies to you. Try to do this. It could help. Not guarantee, but could. So we have this run button, but we also have this drop down here. Try to start your emulator with cold boot now option. If you ask me what it does, I have no idea. I know it helps to wake up emulators that are in a stale state. Also, some of you said, well, I finally managed to start this guy, but it's slowing down my computer a lot. I feel your pain, and the only advice I can give is don't forget from time to time to wipe your data. If you remember our last meeting on Thursday, on Monday, when I just created my emulator, it was only 540 megabyte, and today it is already 2.4 gigabyte. So they are growing in size, despite like a couple of hours ago it was 1 point something. Now it's 2.4. So maybe before you start your emulator, it would be a good idea to go and wipe your data. Just keep in mind that if you, and we will see today how to install application on emulator, if you install our app on emulator and then wipe data, your application is going to be gone from your emulator. You would need to reinstall it. And another thing that helps people with emulators that get killed or with emulators that are offline and refuse to wake up is to edit one thing. So we have this edit button. If I click this edit button, I am at virtual device configuration window, and I have an ability to change graphics from automatic to hardware or software only. So this is going to help to speed up your emulator. If you switch to software only, it might or should help to speed up your emulator, wake it up from being offline when you restart it, or maybe even help with killing your emulator by the system. So you can try it out, but not right now, but later. So to our agenda, what we are going to cover tonight. Tonight, we are going to talk about our project. I will show you in a moment where to find all the information and where to find Android version, because tonight we are going to install Android version of the application on our emulators first. And I will briefly give you an overview of app distribution tools, and I will explain what it is. So then we're going to talk about human user interface guidelines for mobile applications for Android and iOS. And we're going to have a little exercise together. And we will figure out why do we care? Why should I bother to know about any rules in terms of user interface? And then we will remind ourselves bug reporting rules in general, something that you covered with Michael, but it never hurts to remind us. We will review them quickly. And after we review them, we will go and take a look at your bugs in brief Jira project, just to reevaluate how did we do. Would you change anything now, as you now have slightly more experience? Then we will talk about bug reporting rules for our particular project. So how would like you to please write bug reports. You had a template with Jana. Jana's project is Jana's project. Once you're moving to a different project, to a different company, rules they're not going to be dramatically different, but they might be somehow different. So somehow difference is now. We are going to talk about how we would like to file bugs for our project. And then I'm just going to create one template for you all so that you have something to take a look at when you file your bugs against our project. And what is our project? Our project, all the information, as always, you are able to find at our online.partnov.may-18 2021. And we today at the session 3. And you have all the materials that I'm going to use and even more as always. And the left column cell has all the information in regards of our project. What is our project? Link to our Jira, Looking Bass introduction from the team video, something that I have posted a while ago already, while ago, and asked you to please watch the video to be familiar with the project. So if you haven't had a chance, I'm not going to restate whatever they say, so you need to watch it yourself. Because they explain a lot of things and demo a lot of things, the most important part. I will walk you through our Looking Bass handouts. It's not very full, complete document, but there are some tips that can help you in order to test Looking Bass. And those bug reporting rules as we discussed previously. And we already have links to documents about app distribution solutions, as well as human interface guidelines. I will talk about homework at the end of the class. Looking Bass again. You already have seen this website. I'm just here again for a moment. And I'm going to be here for a moment and going to be staying here for a moment while I am going to start my emulator. So I'm going to start my emulator now so that I can actually install the app and show you how to install the app. And the way we are going to install it tonight, please use it only for the next few days. Once we start learning about Android Debug Bridge, only you install app with ADB, because that's what they want to hear from you during the interview. It just, I want you to also give you a chance to start looking at the app, the sooner the better, and perform exploratory testing of the application and see, what you can find. So very briefly, Login Bus, an application that helps people with disability, primarily people with visual impediments or blind people, to use public transportation. They have the servers that walks the user from the house to the bus stop. Bus driver is notified the person with disability is waiting for the bus, and then they taking the bus, the app reminds them to get off the bus, or making sure they get off the bus, they're getting off the bus, and they are going to the final destination. A very neat app with a lot of things to explore from the testing perspective. Well, how can I get this app on my emulator anyways? So let me go and explain. There are multiple ways at the companies. And this one I'm not going to stop by for a long time, but I encourage you to somehow save this document and keep it so that when you go for your job and in the job description, you see names or tool names such as Test of Light or Google Play Beta Testing or Crashlytics or Firebase, by the way, or App Center, so that you are not freaking out and saying, well, I'm not going to apply. I have no idea about App Center. I've never used it, and I'm not going to apply to this position. All those guys are just the distribution tools for your testing version of the app. So when you've been testing Brief, I want to tell you that you did not test Brief in test environment, even though you know what's testing environment, right? What's the difference between testing environment, staging environment, production environment? Do you have an idea? And what did I do wrong? Mistype something. Oh, okay, cool. You've been talking with Jana, right? About all those different environments. Have you? Okay. Okay, so, and also just while you're answering to my previous question, if you're having problems, again, do not ask here, because nobody's, even if somebody will reply or I will reply right now, it's going to get lost here. So ask and set up help. And the way it phrased right now, it's not enough information to help you. And that sort of clicks with our bug report rules that we're going to discuss tonight. It's not enough information for me. What exactly went wrong? How you're not able to install, because what? Because when you click finish button, it's disabled. When you trying to when you're trying to go and click create virtual device, it's disabled. I have no idea, and nobody else. And we won't be able to help you unless you're going to be more specific, preferably with screenshots and with the steps that what you've done already. So the same story is writing the bug report, right? Okay, Brief. Forget about Brief. Let's say, okay, let's say we are testing partnov.net website, hypothetically. So what you did with Jana, you test Brief in production. You tested production version of application, which is usually is not the case, right? We usually have few environments. We have developer environment. And what does it even mean, developer environment? It means that so they start their work here. They're making changes in the environment so that if they break something or add something that was not yet tested, it's not going to affect anyone else except developers who are logging into particular site or particular URL. That would be the environment URL if we speak about web development. And nobody else is here unless you want to check something quickly. So they do their job, they feel free here, and that's fine. We also have our servers, our backend also has multiple environment versions. It also has dev version, QA version, staging version, and production version. So our front end developer environment link to developer server because we have front end developers, someone who make changes that users can see, but we also have backend developers, someone who do stuff on the backend, and there might be features that requires backend work, of course, and that's why. So developer environment front end pointed to dev environment server, QA to QA environment server, staging, usually something that is very much ready to go to production, but we just want to keep it here clean before send to production, and then production, where we have our users. Apparently, if we are testing Partnov.net, and Mr. Partnov said, well, I want to add another link, student courses, students community, frequently asked questions. I want to add, I don't know. I'm stuck. Blog, for instance, here. And we have a blog link with where we would have post our updates on what's going on and etc. If Michael would request it, the person who developed this website is not going to just go and send it here to partnov.net because it's not how it works. It should be tested, and while you develop, it could be messy. And that's why usually the websites would have a test version URL that would be pointing to test or developer or staging environment. And those URLs are something as simple as, it's not going to work because Partnov doesn't have it, but I'm just giving you an example. It would just have a word test in front of the main domain name, something like this. Or it could be not test, but it could be QA and something like this. And all the company do this, so they have it. Sometimes these testing URLs, we're gonna see for here. Sometimes those testing URLs are protected with a password, so that people from outside who just happen to figure URL for testing an environment not getting in. But that's how it works. And it's relatively easy setup for web testing, right? So I just need to have few copies. The URL will be slightly different. My QA team is going to work with URL that's going to be having something like QA or test or whatever. But what's the deal with mobile applications? I cannot publish side by side in App Store or Play Store my production version and my test version. It's not going to work like that. I do not want people to see my work in progress. I want to make sure that I'm shipping only tested features and verified fixed bugs, right? So it's not that easy as with web test and QA environment distribution. We need some tools. We need some different channels to distribute our applications. So this document is giving you overview of what's the most popular on the market. In our class, we are only going to see TestFlight distribution tool, and only those of us who has iOS, because TestFlight is the part of Apple empire. This application was bought by Apple a few years ago to distribute applications under test in iOS environment. So that's the purpose. And we are going to, everybody will see it, how it looks, but not everybody will have hands-on with it. But once, if you see it once, it's fine. You will figure it's very easy. Then Google has similar tool for distributing Android versions. We're not going to use it because we are going to install our Android apps differently, directly from command line. Just the file itself on our devices itself. Then you can read about Firebase. I didn't use Firebase on any of the projects in terms of distributing apps. For other purposes, yes, but not to get my test versions of the application. We, at my current job, we are using App Center. Unfortunately, I cannot get you inside App Center. I can just only tell you that, well, it's just a website, and if I need to get my iOS testing built, I will log in to this website from my phone, and I will go to my project directory, and there will be a bunch of links for different versions sorted by date. My latest will be on top, link to this app, to what I need to download. I will tap this link from my phone, and the app is going to get downloaded to my device. That's as simple as it is. Maybe they usually those guys have some sort of demo on their websites. I do not suggest to spend your time and look for demo for these tools now. You have those links. When it's time and you see in your job description App Center, go ahead and check it in advance. If when it's time and you see test flight, go ahead and remind yourself what is test flight. Don't bother. As I said, on this project we are going to use test flight, and on this project we are going to install Android apps from command line, period. So test flight, since we're here, apparently if you go to this link, you can read more about this tool. As I said, why did I collect your Apple IDs? Because I'm going to, so they already sent, and I'm hoping that tomorrow or over the weekend or early next week, all the iOS users who provided the Apple ID will get an invitation on email. While we are going to take our weekend and maybe learn some JavaScript or create some emulators, the developer is going to log in into test flight application on the in the web browser. He is going to upload. He's going to create new testers and groups, new tester group for us. He is going to upload the file that I'm going to. That is okay. It's already sent. It's a slight chain between me and developer. He is going to upload this file, and all of us, and we have a lot of people who are joining, they should be added to this project. What is going to trigger? It is going to trigger the email invite that is going to be sent to your email, to your Apple ID email, or whatever email you provided in Apple ID column. So sometimes this guy goes in the spam folder, of course. Where else? So when I learned that he has done his job, I'm going to let you all know that you are already you already can go and search. It's not the sorry. I'm going to pause my screen for a moment because I want to show you how the email looks, so that you know what you're looking for. So check your, okay, again, I'm coming back one sentence. Check our channels where we communicate. I'm going to post in Slack. I'm going to post in Skype, in formal, informal, everywhere. I'm going to let you know once I learn that that the invite was sent. I'm going to let you know. So unfortunately, I got logged out from the Gmail, where I have exact invitation from Looking Bus app, and I'm showing you something very very much from the past. But you are going to have the invite that would have test flight column in the beginning. You are invited to test, but instead of Kaching, we're just looking at the different email because I got locked out from the other mailbox. It's just gonna say Looking Bus, something like that. So when I tell you invites were sent, just go check your Gmail or whatever application you are using, search for test flight, and then something should come up. And once it does come up, it is going to be open and okay. I wish I was not locked out. So instead of open and test flight, it's gonna be something like a redeem. So you're gonna be sent a redemption code in order to join the program. And if you open this email from your device, it will take you directly to test flight if you install it. If you open this email and you can just read the code and enter it manually. Well, where to enter it manually? And even if you do not have the iPhone or iPhone, I guess, then please still listen, because that's something that you are going to probably, I would say, 90% chance do at work. You are most likely to be using test flight for iOS apps. Even though at my work we use App Center a lot, but when we have pre-production build, something that external testers can also test, our external team, we are using test flight still. So still listen. I'm going to now do Launchpad and start this application. This application, you do not need to install it. Good news. One thing less to install. I am using this app when I need to broadcast my device screen. So now I want to show you my iPhone device. So this is the way for me to broadcast it. So you do not need it. So what we are looking right now is my iOS device, and I want to show you what's the test flight. So even before you receive email, it's good to go and install test flight application. So test flight app looks like that. How to install it? You go to App Store, and inside App Store, you use search functionality and you type test flight. Here we go. So you will see this ventilator, and you will click down, install, you will install it, then you will open it up. So again, if you open your email, once you have test flight installed, if you open your email right from the device, then you will just see a looking glass among the apps here. If you open your email and read the code from your desktop browser or laptop browser, doesn't matter, you can go ahead, open test flight, and click this redeem button, and you will enter your code here and click redeem, tap redeem. Once you've done it, you're gonna see looking bus on the list of apps. Well, difficult to follow when you cannot do it right now, but hoping that it's going to help you when you receive your invitation. Okay, so that was test flight. And I'm going to stop sharing my device. And I'm going to quickly check if we have any questions. Oh, I'm not sure that like technically no, because I'm not sure, but technically no. But what Apple is building right now? Why they use this Apple Silicon? They're building ecosystem that will allow to run apps created for iOS platform on macOS or on iPadOS or vice versa. So that's what they're building. I'm not sure which macOS virtual you have, and I'm also not sure if Looking Bass is already compatible with this. They might not be. I'm not sure. So Big Sur, I think, might be on couple of those. Does this app support iOS 3.1? No. But I like the question. I like the question because it's important. We know that this is important. We remember that we need to have device with that would match minimum supported version, like not match, but be within the range. So Looking Bass, I'm always sort of scared when I see something like this, not yet uploaded picture, because I do not know what to expect. So it's not. Looking Bus supporting iOS starting from iOS 11 and Android starting from Android 7. That's my best knowledge as of the moment. And just to tell you in advance, Maxim, I do not see. Why don't I see the picture? No apps are available to test. Yes. So currently you have no apps available to test because you haven't yet received. If you receive the invite from Looking Bus, but once you do, you can redeem the invite number or open this email from your test flight, and then you're gonna have it. Email will come. I'm hoping that by the beginning of next week. We will install them. I will show you today how to install them, of course, because otherwise, how would we be able to run exploratory testing? No way, right? So we will see. We will see how to. Thank you so much for marking this for manual. All right. So let's get back to our application, and let me actually show you how do we install it if we didn't learn ADB and what to do. Well, I'm asking you, once we start learning ADB, please do not use this method. I usually do not show students that before we start ADB, but please do not use this method. So installing the application on emulator as simple as drag and dropping the application file to the emulator home screen. So, and I will show you where you can find this file. This is my downloads folder. This is my emulator. I'm taking and now I'm going to suffer because sometimes I do not have mouse. I'm just using my fingers. So I'm going to try to drag and drop it. No. Why it always happens to me when I need to show how to? Well, I promise you, if you drag and drop this file, then it's going to end up. I just want to show you anyway. Let me try it like this. No. Can somebody do it for me? Like, can somebody connect to my computer and drag and drop it for me? Well, no, I didn't. Okay. So it's not emulator's fault and it's not APK file fault. It's Tanya's fault that Tanya cannot drag and drop the file now. But I promise you it's working, and you will be able to. You should be able to drag and drop it. It doesn't matter again if you're on Windows or on Mac. Same story. Drag and drop the file. Before I show you where the file is, I want to warn you because a lot of people are saying, "Well, Tanya, I drag and dropped it, but I don't see it." And also, if you drag and drop it, and for the first time it's gonna say something about it has some sort of error, do not hesitate to try again because sometimes it takes a couple of times. Can I drag and drop you? No. Eh, I do not want to open this Android Studio. Okay, I'm not good at drag and dropping. So once you drag and drop it, people saying, "Well, Tanya, I see messages, I see this Chrome, but where is my Looking Bus?" Well, your Looking Bus is in a different place. How to get to Looking Bus? In your emulator, you need to swipe up from the bottom to up. And I mean, I'm saying that I'm going to repeat it again because if I see this question, I'm not going to answer that. So where is my Looking Bus when I install it, when I drag and drop it? I'm swiping up, and Looking Bus will be here. So unfortunately, what I would have to do, not unfortunately, what I would have to do right now is I would have to install it from command line. And you don't have to do it, or you can try to do it. It's up to you. So no Looking Bus here, but I need to get it here. Drag and drop didn't work. I will install it in a different way. And different way would be ADB. And I'm going to, just in case, make it bigger so that you can see what I'm doing. Even though you don't have to learn it now, we are going to start talking about this next Monday. I'm going to say ADB devices, just in case to see if I have any devices connected. I'm going to talk about it again on Monday, don't worry. It says, well, now a lot of us have seen this empty list of devices attached and then nothing. But now we see my emulator because it is here and visible to ADB. Don't focus on ADB. I'm just showing off. And I'm going to say ADB install, and I have to tell where is my file. My file is in downloads folder. My file is in downloads folder, and I have so many with almost the same name, so that I want to copy the name and paste it over here. Editing extension APK, and I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to hit enter, and I see success. Where's my looking bus? And this is my looking bus. That's how I got my looking bus on emulator. But again, you can just drag and drop it. And you can say, well, Tanya, I also want to try it on my physical device. Can I drag and drop on physical device before we learn ADB? I will say, of course, no, but you can also still do it. And I'm also showing you off where we are having those files, where you can download the EPK file, which stands for Android package, with Looking Bus application. And also, do not repeat it right now, just watch it, because again, there will be another question that I'm going to emphasize and answer right now. And if I see it, I'm not going to answer. Where to find our APK files. So we have special channel, Looking Bus APK, and I'm going to post the channel name in general so that you all can join. You can join by searching, or you can join by clicking the channel's link. So our APK is here, and here is at Looking Bus APK channel. So after class, please come here, click this link, and you're going to be automatically added to Looking Bus APK channel. So then from here, it's very simple. There is a download button. You will click it, and this file is going to get downloaded to your machine. Now I'm going to tell you something that I'm not going to answer if somebody will ask. It is on my machine now. Looking Bus _ version 0.6.22.18. For instance, I suggest to try this one first. It's more or less stable. And some I don't know how many times I receive this question or complain, but it's a lot. And then people are trying to double click it. I'm afraid mine is going to get open with Android Studio. Yeah. Well, it's not the best example, because what happened to me is that this file got opened with Android Studio as an editor, and that's not what usually happens to people. What usually happens to people is that they double click this file on their computer, and the computer says, well, I do not have any program to open your file. And people say, Tanya, I cannot install Looking Bus. Well, you cannot install Looking Bus because on your macOS or on your Windows OS, APK file is an executable file for which operating system? Android. No, Android. I don't think, I mean, it's not like I don't think, I'm pretty positive that it is not going to get open on Linux. So even though Android is Linux based, like it has Linux kernel, it also has so many changes that packages for Android OS is not going to get open elsewhere. Okay, just quick reminder, quick exercise, quick parallel thinking building. I am an application that wants to run on Windows operating system. What is my extension? What comes after that? Yeah, If I'll try to run on Mac OS, what's gonna happen? Will I be able to with this extension? No, I'm not created for Mac OS. Then I am an application that is that wants to run on Mac OS. What would be my extensions? Because I think there are a couple. DMG. And if you go to your applications folder, you will see a bunch of apps with .app extension as well. But yeah, practically DMG app. If I'll try to run anything like that on Windows, of course, Windows is going to say, well, I do not know what you want from me. I cannot read it. Same story is going to happen if you're going to try to open .apk file. So executable on Windows .exe, for instance, executable on Android .apk. So because it's only for Android operating system, not from for our Mac OS or Windows OS or iOS. And by the way, if I am an iOS application, what would be my extension? I want to run on iOS. What would be my extension? No. Well, app is, we will talk about that app extension. Your project might have app extension, your iOS project, but that's for a different purpose. So whatever we have in App Store has extension IPA, iOS package. So yeah, and of course, I'm not going to be able to run on any other application. Well, I'm not talking about Silicon family. Pavel and Victor are typing. So back to the so basically, yeah, so it is in your download folder, but it is here for one purpose. The purpose is get onto your emulator or get onto your physical device. And I just showed you, promised you that if you drag and drop it, then it's gonna get an up here. You can use command that I just used, and you've seen it. It's gonna be on the recording, adb install, and pass to your file. Even simpler to my perspective. But since we not yet learn how to prepare Android physical devices, adb install will not work on them, and we will cover it on Monday. So if you want to install Looking Bass APK file on your physical device in meantime, all you need to do is you can install Slack for Android or iOS. Oh, I'm sorry, for Android, of course. You can install Slack for Android on your phone, and you can access this channel from your phone. You will tap this file, and ta-da! Your phone might be asking you if you are sure if you want to install this file. You can say yes, and it's going to get onto your Android physical device. Very similar to what I do at work with App Center. I go to App Center, I tap something and from my phone, and I get my build on my phone. But still, it's just for now. So anyone has access to Android version. Doesn't matter if you don't have Android device, you have a chance to work with Android emulator. If you have Android device, you have a chance to work with both Android emulator and Android physical device already. So for performing our exploratory testing. So speaking of exploratory testing, let me show you how the Looking Bass is looking from inside, because it is not yet in production. It's still under development, and there is no production version, which means if you go and try to find Looking Bass in App Store, you will not find it. If you go and try to find Looking Bass in Play Store on Android, you will not find it. It was not yet released. So, ta-da, Premiere series. If you did not watch the video, you're gonna see Looking Bass eventually. Well, this is the sign-in page, and while we're here, I will briefly give you some very high level requirements. So if you, this is sign-in or login page, but you might want to create an account, and for that you would have to go to sign up screen. So your email address should be the one that you have access to. So if you create a dummy email address just for testing, the verification code will come to this dummy email, well, that does not even exist. So creating an account in LookingBuzz requires a real email. No one from hundreds of students who tested LookingBuzz ever complained about any kind of spam going from LookingBuzz back. After all, so it's pretty safe and pretty clear. And plus, you don't have to if you don't want to, because you can log in as a guest, and I will show you how. The requirements for first name be at least first name and last name be at least 2 characters long, but no more than 32, I believe. And then password requirements, I don't remember, but when you if you try to create a password that would not meet requirements, it will give you the error message explaining. I guess it needs uppercase, lowercase, and also special character. I don't know why to make things so complicated, but they did. So I'm going, instead of signing up, I'm going to go back to sign in page, and I will log in as a guest. And you will see my LookingBuzz eventually. When LookingBuzz is asking for my permission, and permission list will change if you create a couple of Android emulators and they are different versions, Android versions, and you try the same thing on Android 9, 10, and 11, this list will be different because they are updating the permissions with every new, I mean, not every, of course, but with this 3 and 4th coming at least. So they are making permissions more strict. I'm going to say allow while using the app. Well, I don't know if you watched the video. I will speak a little bit like if you didn't, but I encourage you to watch it. So LookingBuzz is allowing me as a user to create sort of bus reservation. I can go ahead and pick my destination. And so my current location will be not your current location, like after grabbed from your computer. Your current location is, let me show you, Mountain View, and unless you changed it. So you all are going to be like your LookingBuzz installed on your Android emulator will be thinking that you are in Mountain View. Why Mountain View? Because this is the Google headquarters. These can be changed. You can actually change location on emulator if you briefly, if you watch the brief video that was posted in emulator document. 4 minutes video explaining features of emulator. You know how to use this one, but we are going to also use it, don't worry. And basically what you will do, you will enter the destination name, and I'm usually always going to the place that is near old campus of Partnov Computer School, Genox Hotel and Garden. Okay. And I'm going to say wherever. I'm selecting my final destination, and I am, it says, and sorry, and error occur. Lucky me. Well, sorry and error occur usually coming from the server. Okay, so this guy is actually thinking that I'm not at the, so it's thinking that I am somewhere in Minnesota. So I can edit it, and I can, Partnov, it will not find it. Okay, okay. Go. Mountain View. I will explain all the things. So I'm hoping I will not have any errors right now. It is searching for the root. It does it very slowly because of my emulator, not because of the service. So I have some options I can choose from. So for example, I will choose the first one and tap reserve, and it will start giving me some instructions. When is my bus and blah blah blah. I'm not going to repeat everything because it is also on your video, and it's done with good demo from developers. So watch how it works. And but LookingBuzz does not support every transportation system in this country, as well as if you are not currently in the United States. Apparently the Lookin Bus only works in the United States. So does it mean that if you're somewhere outside of the area they support, and I will show you where to find the areas, that you will not be able to test? No, it's not true, because when you, well, it probably will not walk you from your house, but you still can select for current location something within servable area, as well as your destination within the servable area, and still do some testing. Plus, again, you can change your location to be somewhere else instead of uh, being your house if we are on emulator. And we will also learn how to fake location on Android devices. I don't want to, I mean, I'm going too far. In any case, let's go back. Like for exploratory testing, it's enough. You just need to know which addresses would work. And for that, this information, can I ask you quickly, are you able to follow me? Is everything clear so far? Where to find everything? Okay, thank you. So in our session 3, Lookin Bus hands-out. As I said, this doc is incomplete. It's sort of work in progress that was started by students who were going through internship I once held for Lookin Bus company. So there's some screen list. We don't care. What we care is the list of supported agencies. What does agencies mean? It means that this is the bus transportation systems in that serving a particular region. For example, in San Francisco, we have something that called MUNI, M-U-N-I. And there is a lot of agencies like that in every county and in every state. And Lookin Bus currently working only with 4 of them. And this one, Kata, is in Michigan, and the rest are around the area. So these are clickable links. You will be able to go check the website, and you will be able to figure out what routes this particular agency covers. You can apply, select forever, local, let's say local apply. It will give you route numbers, bus number, the route itself from where to where. That's how you will be able to figure bus stops if you need to. Or the students who've been working on this document, they have already picked a few addresses that known good bus routes. They are not too long, so that your testing is not running for an hour and a half. They are checked by these valid addresses. Valid addresses. Michigan. Okay, that's for Michigan. Not really suggest you. I would stick. I mean, or you can again check back the routes in on the websites. The favorite route of all students were Route 22, because this bus is going and passing the old campus of Partnov Computer School. Interactive map. So it will have all the stops and stops name, so you can find it and use it, like from where to where you can go. El Camino Real and Castra to El Camino Real and Wolf, and you can enter as your final destination and your current location, something, and so that you will be able to provide the you will be able to create your reservation. So what is going to happen if you enter something that is not like, I don't know, let's say I know for sure they do not work in Portland. So I'm going to Portland. Portland. Oregon. Give me some address in Portland, Oregon. No. No, not Indiana. Okay, whatever. So if I, by the way, suggested search in Android version is, as you can see, not working very well. It's a known issue. you will have hard time to find something by business name, and as you can see, you cannot even find Portland, Oregon, unless I mistyped it. Well, if you enter something as destination in your origin, which is not in the area, it will still let you to select the bus, but it's not going to make you reservation. Also not very convenient. It's going to get improved. But if you see that your reservation is not getting created, check where you are. Check if you're on the very much beloved Route 21, for instance, within Bay Area, within El Camino Real street, which is a very long one. And it literally goes from San Francisco to San Jose. So this is one street, like not even street, I don't know, road. So you be in this area, and then you should not have extra problems or something like that. If you feel like, well, I'm not sure how it works, or hey guys, I'm having such and such issue in Looking Bus, not with setup, but in Looking Bus, in the app itself. Like, well, can you guys repeat the steps and let me know if you're seeing the same? Or I'm trying to enter my origin and destination and no routes come up. Do you see the same? Maybe I'm in the wrong place. All those kind of questions do not ask in setup. Instead, we have a channel that called Looking Bus Questions. I know a bunch of channels, but get ready. You're gonna go to work. You're gonna have even more channels to follow. So I'm going to post this name again in general. So and say tag you all here and say all questions about the project and app issues, please Looking Bus Questions. In this case, it's going to be easier for us to navigate all our messaging. We know that setup is only our tools, and then this one is our chat about questions in regards of Looking Bus. You may tag me in this question or in this channel and ask if I know if this is the expected behavior or not, and I will share my best knowledge about expected behavior. So that's how we're gonna work. Again, but you need to watch you please watch this session with the Looking Bus team, because they explain everything and they demo everything from start to finish. Now, before we go to the bug reporting rules for the project, I want to, so the whole second part of our class tonight, we are going to talk about how to basically, if you take a look at all those guys, all our topics that are still left, they are all about using professional language. And before we go for the exercise for human interface guidelines, and if you're repeating the class, sorry, it's going to be the same exercise. Please do not spoil it. But if not, maybe you will get excited. So if hypothetically, I'm going to ask you, we all of us have already had some previous background, like you might have been a doctor or massage therapist or psychiatrist or an actress, or I don't know. So you probably came from a different field, right? And that's why we're here learning from scratch. So how long, like, remember what you've done in the past, what was your domain knowledge? How long would it take you if you would meet somebody who would insist, well, I'm sharing the profession with you, like you are saying you are such and such, oh, I'm too, I'm also from the same field as you. How long would it take you to crack this person and figure this person is not from this field and this person has no idea what he or she is talking about? Couple of questions and 30 seconds. Like I know, for example, uh, uh, for every domain, there is something that only people who actually know the things know the things. So you are just going to start using the vocabulary you would use with your colleagues, and then there will be a silence on the other hand, right? Couple of terms, exactly. So tonight's class purpose, and then human interface guidelines purpose for us are not just, even though it's also a purpose for us more mature, human interface guidelines explain how the app should look, how it should sound in terms of terminology, what's the color, proper color ratio, and all the things. And you can file bugs against your app based on human interface guidelines. But for us, it's also in this encyclopedia, right? Uh, that will help us to actually go and see how this thing called actually. How can I explain it in my bug report? I don't want to mess up, right? So let's have the exercise where I'm going to show you some steps in Gmail application. We will pretend we are working for Gmail, and we need to write a test case. And the test case would be about, I'm going to show you steps, and we will define those steps. We will write steps for our test case, if it ever loads. Well, okay, so I'm in my Gmail, primary, for example, and if it ever loads again. So I want to, my test case says, Tanya, so when we save message as draft, we should show the user that we actually did it, so that user knows, well, don't worry, it didn't get deleted, it is saved as a draft. So I need to write the test case for this scenario. And if you have Gmail, you've seen this message. If you don't have Gmail, you will see it now. So usually, like, I will go and go there. I'm purposely not saying any names there. And then I would have to do this, like provide this information. I would also have to dismiss. I would also have to provide this kind of information and something here, and optional, but I will. And then I do not want to send it. I don't want to go here. I need to provoke this message. It was already here. I have to provoke this message. So I'm going to go back, and we didn't see it because it already showed it to me. Let me show it again. I don't know why it showed it. And pay attention. I'm going to repeat my steps, but please pay attention at the bottom of the screen. The message will appear here, and it will literally say the draft was safe. A message was safe as a draft. So once again, test at test.com and subject, and then I'm going to go back. Message saved as draft, right? So I need to verify that message saved as draft is shown to the user. I need to write a test case. I need to write my steps. So I will make life slightly easier. I'm going to say launch Gmail application. Let's keep login. Login will be in our prerequisites. Usually, if as you noticed in our mobile versions, we once login, we usually do not getting logged out, because unless the token has expired and we forcefully logged out, unless we didn't visit for a long time. So I need the second step. So I'm on my home screen. What would be my second step? So do you remember I went here? How would you phrase it? Compose new email. Well, okay, so compose new email, I like it, Isaac, but say you just hired me. I've never seen your Gmail app ever in my entire life. And I mean, I have no idea. Okay, compose my email. I do not see button compose your email. I do not know how to compose. You need to be more specific. Create new email, same story. Maybe I do not know how to. Test cases are steps. Like do this. Okay, tab plus sign. I'm copying. It's not like I'm copying something that is 100% correct or incorrect. I'm copying something that is okay. I'm going to also copy. I'm going to just use slash, right? And so a couple of versions of the same thing. When you can remember yourself what you've or click plus button. Okay. Okay. Let's stop here. It's enough for us. And then so okay, I'm doing what you just said to your order. What do I need to do next? Isaac summarized everything so that now it's clear that we know what to do and they know the purpose. Type an email address into two fields. Okay. Da, da, da. Fill up fields with the following data. So we have some data. Data here. Okay. But basically, it's all sort of the same. So next will be I'm going to post two with some test data that I was provided or not. Test get test.com. So same story will be the subject. I'm not going to repeat subject and compose mail because I'm just going to, they're similar, right? So I'm going to just do this dots over here. And so I'm going to do this test. And then what should I need to do next? Quickly, because I already have this message, save this draft. Normally, I would do what? I've entered everything I needed, but I'm not going to send it. I'm going to do a different thing. Go back. Natalia, how do I go back? Well, in Android, besides in Android, there are multiple ways to go back. So do you want me to go back with device back button or with application back? App. Okay. So wait, and then I'm going to copy this one. We have click or push. Okay, let's go there. So I'm going to just say copy the first one. Push the back button. I'm going to say the app back button because, as I said, there is also device back button, and this can make a difference because our developers they did not implement this button, then listen to this button, so it might produce some bugs. You want to actually get back by multiple ways. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and it's not going to show me the message now because we've been here for too long on the screen. But do you by any chance remember? Do you remember? Have you seen like when I showed it 2 minutes ago? Did you see message saved as draft? Do you recall how it looks, or do you want me to repeat again? Okay, sounds good. So now I did it. I pushed it, and I have to provide my expected results. So what my expected result? We know that I was waiting for this message. So how would you phrase your expected? That's how to say the message at the bottom of the screen. Okay. Message save as draft would be probably too broad because well, Dmitry, you are going a little bit one step ahead. We might have a next test case saying that, so this one verified that I had a message. The next one could be that I would have to go to my draft folder and verify that it's actually here and not somewhere else. But we stick with the message. So we're just up to the message. Message shown at the bottom of the screen. So yeah, okay. Okay, so well, I will just comment on expected results briefly. Actually, I will comment later. Well, now Now let's pretend I'm still on the, it's another test case about a different thing, about a different type of message that I would expect to see in the application. So I'm still on my, it's a new test case, has nothing to do with what we just did, but watch me what I'm doing so that we will have to write steps again. So I'm going here from my home screen and I'm going to drafts. And I select it. And then I'm going to trigger the message that we are going to have in our expected results. So here we go. I don't like you because it's not the way it was supposed to be looking. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, let me see if I will. Well, okay, whatever. That's also something good. Okay, let's do it again. So I'm going to delete it. And this is what I see. Discard draft from this conversation. Let me see if it's not going to be a draft, but something else. Google Team. Here we go. One deleted. Do you see this? So forget about draft. Forget about draft. Draft showing not the message that I was going to talk to you about. So I'm on the main screen. Things are even easier. Wait, Marina, I'm not going to delete your. I'm sorry, I'm not going to delete your mail. So I'm going to delete this one. I'm on my home screen. I go and choose any in inbox message. I do this, and I see one deleted with undo message again. So apparently, home screen, select message, blah blah blah. Let's just come up with expected result to make it quicker. So what would be my expected result this time? How would you phrase it? Confirmation window. And again, I'm not talking about drafts, right? I'm talking about the one then from primary, something that was happening at the bottom of the screen, not in the middle, not where I had to click OK. The question is, so when I delete, I also see a message at the bottom of the screen. This is my expected result. Help me to define expected result. We're not going to write steps. Delete appears at the bottom of the screen. Okay. All right. Okay. Pop-up message deleted. Sounds good. All right. So I'm going to stop now. And now the last question I want to ask you, if we actually were writing about drafts inside draft folder, and I need to navigate from my home screen to drafts, what is this? How would you name this element? So you would have to say, Tanya, go, tap, click, push, menu, right? That's what you would say. And then in the next step to go to draft, what should I do? Select draft folder. Select draft folder. Okay. And where should I select draft folder? From? In the menu item from the list. Okay. Okay. Just remember our or from drop down menu or from the list. Okay. Just remember our answers. And now I'm going to show you a couple of slides, a couple of and then we are going to come back and take a look at what we wrote, and maybe we will want to correct something. So before I will show you, I just want to tell you in advance that in mobile applications, we call, when we navigate from one place to the other, we would say home screen, or then I don't know, my account screen, sign in screen, log out screen. So we refer to all those what we got used to call pages in web. We call it screens. So I'm navigating from screen to screen. If you say page, nobody's going to bite you, but it's gonna be sort of from vocabulary. Well, that's a little bit on the gray side. We say pages in web. Maybe they will think, well, worked a lot on web applications. Okay, but it's gonna be still fine. Also, if I am if I am in in the web-based application, and I see login button, what would be the verb? What would you say? What should I do with login button? Should I do what? Click. Yeah. So in our, I'm going to start writing here. So here we go. So we have screen, first of all. And as of actions, we have click in web-based applications. Okay, push or click. The thing is that, again, honestly, I'm talking about push, a verb. To my perspective, and I'm talking to you now, not as an abstract. I mean, there is no, probably 100% true, but push is usually with physical buttons. Physical buttons. For example, some phones have this back button being physical, or home button being physical, or some of the test cases might require you to switch off device with power button, or add volume or lower volume with volume buttons. So those are you pressing or pushing. If we speak about web, we usually say click. If we speak about mobile, what would be our verb to use? Yes, we're going to tap. Tap. Yes, we're gonna tap. We tap. We have screen, or we have button, and we tap it. The next thing I'm going to say, you have to remember, because it's being a little bit of grammar Nazi. But when we say in English, there is the when you're trying to bring someone's attention, you might do this sometimes. I personally hate when people do this. But you may tap someone on the shoulder. So you're going and tapping someone's shoulder. So tap someone on a shoulder. So there is some sort of preposition on. In software, we do not use it. If I want to tap login button, I'm gonna say tap the login, or it might be like this, button. You don't have to go crazy about it. It's just me. But if you say tap on login button, nobody's going to bite you. You will see a lot of people writing like that. But I'm just saying that in software, we are not tapping on something, we're tapping something directly. And it's extra information, extra. So screen and tap. Let's figure out the rest. Let's figure out what did we do. And those are, except again, push, we discussed. I would stick with tap. And I like how all three suggestions that I copied, they are all referring to this plus thing as a button, because yes, exactly, this is button. Sometimes people say, when we do this exercise, they might say icon, tap plus icon. Well, yes, technically icon is here. Icon is something that is displayed on the button. So this element is in the code is actually referred as a button. Moreover, these types of button called floating button. But if you just say button, that's gonna be good enough. This is a button. And then for the rest, let's take a look at the pictures that I have. Pictures that I have. Let me pause my screen for a second. No, I see it over here. Okay, here we go. So first of all, this menu, and I'm so glad nobody said hamburger, because a lot of people would refer to it as a hamburger. And again, that's okay if you write. If I need to access draft from my home screen, I would have to say tab. And if I say hamburger button, people will understand me. But trust me, that usually in the industry, at least developers, they do not use this term. This guy is actually called navigation drawer button, or navigation button for shortness, because what it does, it opens the element that called navigation drawer. So yeah, so this is the navigation drawer, and this is the navigation drawer button, or just drawer with navigation button. We have menus. I will show you menu with a different example, but this is not a menu. This is navigation drawer, and inside navigation drawer, I can select the draft option and go there. I can tap drafts option to navigate to drafts screen. And this guy, who we all called, we were not specific. We didn't say anything more. We just ended up, I believe, let me pull it up. So our expected results were confirmation window should appear, or message deleted appeared at the bottom of the screen. So this, as you've seen, we've seen so far 3 different messages types, right? So one where with gray draft saved as a message saved as a draft was with this gray area, gray background. The other one was right in the middle of the screen with 2 buttons, OK and cancel. And then we also seen one deleted with undo. They are all messages. And but you know, and they can replace one another, right? So they sort of can be, I can use this UI approach or this or the other one, while they are sort of replaceable. But if we just say in our expected results in this particular case that we are expecting a message to appear, we do not say which one exactly we expect, right? So what if the requirements were to implement this one as a snack bar? You might not believe me, but it's actually a snack bar, and this is the official name. I will prove it to you. So instead of developing this as a snack bar, it was developed like something else we've seen. Would it be a bug? Of course, it would be a bug, because that was a clear requirement. I want to have snack bar here. Message would be one deleted, and undo will be a button that reverse the deletion, something like that in my requirements. So this one is going to be a snack bar. So we're just going to say expected result snack bar with one deleted. And I want to be also specific here, because one might be written is as the word, right? And it will be black, because if my requirements are what we call mockups. Probably Jana talked to you about mockups. Mockups, it's like visual prototype of how your screens are going to look and how your web pages is going to look. It's sort of like screenshots that are used by developer to implement the UI of the screen. So I want to be specific here. And then I'm going to say with the undo button, right? Because I want to have undo button. Without undo button, I will not be able to undo this action. And then we can say appears at the bottom of the screen, blah, blah, blah. Appears. Does it make sense? Yes, Burger. Makes sense. And then let's go to the next section. So we all of us got it right. We called it button because again, this is a button. It has icon, but this is just an icon to display it on the button. This type of button called image button because it has no text, like it doesn't say login, log out, feedback, whatever. It just has something that is with the image helps us to understand the purpose. So this is an image button, and it just has this error. So basically, I'm tapping the back button, and as I said, well, okay, I have 2 back buttons. I have button here, like here, and I also have this button, device button. And in my test case, I want to be specific. I can say back, app back button, but then also, well, hypothetic, very stupid scenario. My developer created a couple of back buttons. One is somewhere else. To be more precise in this particular case, I can go crazy and say tap back button in the top app action bar, because this thing here called app action bar. Again, you don't have to remember that right now. It will come probably over time, but at least that you call things buttons, I like. And this is our floating action button. You can skip floating part when you describe it. Still will be understandable. Or you can just refer it as the floating action button, because there is one floating action button per screen. If you ever see two, share with me. It usually looks like it floats. So and sometimes we might have bottom navigation. Forget about it. You were wondering what is menu. So menu buttons in the apps looks like 3 vertical dots, and they actually open menu. So what they open, there is a list of things. You can say this is a menu item. This is a screenshot from the Google Drive. And the guy that we've been chasing with the first test case is called Toast. Very yummy names, right? Snack bar, Toast. Do you believe me or not? Do you believe me it's Toast? Will you dare? Will you dare to call it like this? Even if it's not, I'm going to prove it to you. So I'm going to quickly add. So I have a small application that helps me to explain some complex concepts during this course. And all this app does, it just has one screen, and it has a dice roller and the roll button. So I tap roll button and it rolls the dice. Nothing else. It doesn't do anything else. Okay. So what we are going to take a look at is gonna be the code for this application. And I'm going to first of all install it to my emulator. I wish I know which one's you. Excel. Okay. So no, looking back, I wasn't going to open you. 1 second, give me 1 moment. Okay. Really, don't care. Don't pay attention to code. It's really one screen, nothing much. I'm going to delete this for now. And I'm going to show you this app in sort of in action. So I'm clicking this button that's something that builds applications to device directly, to the connected device directly. I think that's something that we bother right now. I just want to show you this app, and then we will add a toast to this app so that you can see what is toast and how that it's actually true name. So the Gradle guide is running build over here. I sometimes I'm grateful for these moments when I can just do not say anything and blame Gradle for taking so long. While it's doing this, I'm going to switch back. So basically, and I've seen, by the way, in your brief project, I've seen that some of you use this term tooltip. Sometimes there are then elements in web and mobile when you mouse over this, or when you point it in focus with your finger, it shows you some sort of message that will disappear after some time, that called tooltip. Well, apparently nothing to remember from the first time, and what you have in your notes for that. In your notes, you have this Google document, as always. Why it's Google document? Because things are changing so much and so quickly that it's easier to update Google Doc than go and create files for every class, for every group. Well, you have what we've just seen was screenshots from Android device. Most of the elements having the same name in both iOS and Android. Sometimes the operating systems might have the unique elements, like in the uh, iOS, for instance, when you and now I forgot how it's called. Beautiful. App picker. No, something picker. Okay, date picker, for example. So it looks like you can just uh, spin it, and you can select the date that you need. So it's called date picker, for example. And there is no date picker like that in Android. In any case, so here you can find few links that, again, you save to yourself, and then at some point read, just like take a look, not take a look to learn about it deep, but just take a look how to navigate those documents, so that when you actually need to find something, then you can go ahead and find it. So I have direct links to the components that been covered by collages, and for example to this snack bar with actions. So it's just the direct link to how it looks and how it works. Keep in mind this link is for developers, but still we can read and understand. So they say, well, if you want to add an action to your snack bar, and so this is a snack bar, I did not lie, then do this and that. So then also we have some gestures, right? So sometimes we need to zoom in, zoom out. All those names can be found here, like tap, double tap. So whatever actions you would have to make, it would have the appropriate verb. And so which one is used in Android, you can find here later. And then, because I see people are joining. And then there are some components that are not covered by collages. You can check and see how they look from UI side. And then there is iOS Human Interface Guidelines link. And the iOS is actually does a good job. So first of all, and also some components that you can go and check how it looks. For example, what kind of buttons are here, or what are navigation bars and things like that. Check it later. What cool is about iOS, they also share with us some suggestions about in-app terminology. And let's take a look at it, and we can even go ahead and see the first bug in Looking Bus. So they say, and again, you can go ahead and file a bug. Well, I think it seems to me it should be like this, verbiage wise. And you will be asked back, well, why? We need to have some arguments. Why is we can't just think. We need to prove that this is the bug, this is the issue that needs to be corrected, and we need to rely on something, either on requirements or on some sort of guidelines that could be violated in our app, and we have the right to speak up on behalf of the user. So first one is very simple. Use familiar, understandable words and phrases. As we just discussed, if we develop some sort of application that would be medical application that is, say, in which you can go ahead and make an appointment with the doctor. So, well, our app might use a lot of very much domain specific terms, but we want to keep it simple, right? So if we describe symptoms, we're not going to, in our drag and drop list, going to list this in medical terms. We're just gonna say headache or whatever. So familiar language. Keep interface clear and concise. That's obvious. identify interactive elements appropriately. Yes, because if I have the button that has a light gray background, I would probably think that this guy is disabled. I've been trained for years by web and mobile community that disabled buttons are usually, or disabled elements are usually grayed out. So we don't want to do this. And avoid language that sounds patronizing, and which basically means our tutorial might work out and things like that. And you can check like humor, of course we want to be very careful with humor and with dates, because well, it depends where our app is distributed. We might have different date representation in different countries, right? So, but let's stick with the one without do not sound patronizing. If we go to Looking Bus for a moment, for another moment to Looking Bus, and come back to our home screen eventually. And if I will tap this navigation drawer button, that will open a navigation drawer. I have a few screens here. One is called My Account. Well, who else account it could be? This is not a multi-user application. So then I see I have my reservations, and then we have my places. So we're sort of now violating the human interface guidelines from iOS, asking to avoid language that might sound patronizing. Well, yeah. And then another problem here is that if I open one of those screens, if I will navigate to the reservation screen, for example, the screen title would say reservations. Well, and it crashed. Why my app just closed? Because it crashed. Well, if I have a screen, if I have navigation drawer option, it should match with my screen name. Make sense? So this is something that also like the I don't know, standard. Your navigation drawer items names matching your screen names, so that there is no confusion. So it's either my reservations here and there, or reservations here and there. And it's better to be just reservations, because we are violating this human interface guidelines rule. So I would suggest you to have fun and just read and check some elements and controls, for example, for iOS, just to figure out, have you been named them uh, the same mentally in your head when you've been using those, or you named them something different, or you maybe didn't even think how to call the thing. They just a thing, and then tap this thing. So something that we use when we cannot describe unfamiliar concept. Now, I hope, are they called text? Which ones? Ah, you mean, no? It's just the text. I mean name, not the text, not the text here, because it depends how you will name your element inside your code. It's not text like what you might think. Ah, those are screen names. Like I mean, or the navigation drawer options. Like this is just the text inside the element. Those terms are mostly interchangeable, unless we speak about elements that you see in iOS but never seen in Android. For example, if you go to iOS pickers, we might have a picker like this in iOS. I don't think we have a picker like this in Android. No, no, we don't. unless not until recently. So that would be your date picker. All right. Android users as well as iOS users, all of you have all the sources, all the official sources, not something from somewhere else. You have all links. Well, let me quickly, since I promised, go to the uh, Dice Roller app. So currently, Dice Roller, I'm tapping roll button, and it rolled the dice. Cool. I want to add this toast message. How would I do it? I will go ahead. I'm a developer. I would go ahead and I would have to create the instance of this class toast. So I'm going to say toast. You won't believe it. And I'm going to tap, and I'm going to ask my toast to make some text, context this, and help me with the text. What text you want us to show? Toast length long, and then show. Okay. You are hired. Sounds good. Yeah. So basically, we're creating this toast inside our code. We're asking this toast inside within this context to show the particular message, and I can specify for how long. I can specify it myself, like in milliseconds, or I can rely on 3 predefined values, or actually 2: short, late, long, and late, short, I believe. So in any case, we're gonna take a look at this beautiful message you are hired for a little bit longer. I'm going to quickly rebuild my app and apply changes so that we can see this toast, and so that we know toast is toast. It's like we wrote it here, we called it toast in the code. What when tap this button, it's gonna produce what we call toast. Nice roller. No. So I'm going to tap roll button, and now it says you are hired. So we just added a toast message, and so when we refer to and message elements in the app, it would be better to specify which one we mean, because there are so many that our developers might use the wrong one: snack bar instead of toast, or alert instead of dialogue. So alert has one button, like for example, you can just acknowledge that, like, okay, it's alert. And dialogue has two buttons. Do you want to delete this? Yes or cancel. I mean, okay or cancel. So our developer might just post or introduce a wrong element here. So forget about this. I mean, like, do not forget about this. Don't forget to specify which kind of message you expect. Do we feel that we can still talk about bug reporting, or we overwhelmed? We want to fix our emulator. We want to install an Looking Bass on those. We want to watch Looking Bass video, and we want to do some exploratory testing. And if somebody, inbox stairs snooze. Okay, so you mean like I would just say I do not. So probably if it's a drawer, just item in the drawer, on the drawer, in the navigation drawer, or select drafts from the navigation drawer. So this long list, it's called drawer. I'm not sure if they call every field ящик. I forgot box. I don't know. So honestly, but saying on a navigation drawer would be already good enough. Would be at the level that everyone speak. I don't think we can go more deep, no, but it's okay, I think. So speaking of options, the option number one, we say we go over homework and go sleep and fix emulators and do exploratory testing. I would suggest option number one. Would you? Or option number two, we stick for another 20 minutes and briefly talk about bug reports. I mean, I don't care actually. I can do whatever you say. The democracy. Let's work. Okay, I'm going to try. I'll try to be. I'll try to be concise. I'm just worried that I think that today was not that we did not blow our minds. Everything was about something comprehensive, right? We still can accept something, especially given that we are not we are not we are not. It's not the new topic for us. Let me quickly, briefly remind you of the bug reporting rules. So in this document, you will find 17 principles. 15 how many principles? I don't remember. I think Michael has 17 and plus two more. So if you ever forget or forgot or didn't watch or missed the session with Michael Partnov, this is the link from one of the previous group. It doesn't really matter. It's always about the same fundamentals. Okay, here Michael talks about bug reporting rules, the ones that he is teaching at and suggesting, and I cannot agree more with each of those. Does it look familiar? Have you been talking about that during session 4, as far as I remember? Yes. So again, there is something about language. I like this because we don't want to use people of the street. We now not just don't want to use people of the street language and use technical terms. We, after today's session, we also know where to go for those terms. Long time ago. So suggest you to rewatch while you are driving or making yourself a breakfast to re-listen, because it's basically just a thing. And the most important rule here, of course, would be the first one I just said about difference in project. The most important from my perspective would be a rule of 3 W's: what happened, where happened, and under which circumstances. So please, and then I have a couple of more from myself. So when you express your expected and actual results, expected in test cases and expected and actual results in bug reports, stick with present tense. Sometimes it's also it's very much language preferential, but you will not be looking hysterical because you just keep calm and use present tense. So I don't know, click in login button, produce, I don't know, server error, occurred error message, whatever. Or I'm in the present tense. I'm not saying that so must, did, should, or something like this in expected results. I'm not saying that the login button, clicking login button must login user into application. Well, it must, but it didn't just now. So in current present tense, like stick with this present tense thing. Very simple. Clicking this button doesn't redirect the user to the home screen, whatever. And then the other thing is that please try to not to use the word user in your bug report. And I will try to give you an example. For example, let's say if I say user cannot log in. Couple of things here. Is it enough information for us? Does it answer 3W? And which one is missing? Well, we can assume where from login. Well, okay, so yeah, well, like if I cannot log in, then probably I'm at login page, unless I'm totally off and trying to log in from support page. Which circumstances? Yeah, so which circumstances are prohibiting me from logging in? So first of all, it's not enough information, and second of all, well, even if I say under which circumstances, например, which circumstances, when double click, like double click, not just one click, single click. I will say double click the login button. Well, is enough information? I think we actually missing the most important part here. So we said that where sort of we can figure. So it's not where. We just add which circumstances. What we are missing here? What the hell has happened to this user? I mean, like, I cannot log in, or user cannot log in, is the consequences of an error. So user cannot log in when we have such actual results or bug report titles. It sounds like we've been testing the user, and well, under these circumstances, the user cannot log in. We are not testing the user, and it's not a user failure. It is our software failure. So try to avoid use the word user as a main character. It's your software that failed, not the user. And from this one, it sounds, first of all, we have no idea what actually happened. And the second, it sounds like that was the user fault because we do not know user what happened to this. We can say that, for example, double clicking, which is under which circumstances. So let's pretend double clicking the login button triggers an error occurred. Snack bar message. Snack bar. So in this case, I'm saying what exactly happening. So I see the snack bar with an error occurred message on it. And when it's happening, well, it's happening when on double clicking, this action double clicking would trigger this message. And apparently, where can be figured out by the hidden context, but not that hidden context. It is we can figure by the button name. So we're at login page, at login screen, depends where we are. So 17 from Michael, two from me. Nobody is going to bite you if you violate any of those. We're here to learn. And then let's just quickly, like super quickly, open up our. Don't open up. I'm just going to go over not the bug reports inside the bug report. Let's just go over the bug report titles. And my personal, very strong belief that I follow as much as I can is that all your 3 W's need to be in the bug report title so that your bug report title answers all those 3 questions, and your developer sometimes might not even need to open your bug report in order to figure out what's there, unless your developer would want to check screenshot, video, or log file. So if your bug report answers all 3 questions in the title, that is super easy for everyone, including yourself when you will be searching through bug ever filed. And if they all called, for example, let's give another example. Well, is it legitimate bug report title? Login button doesn't work. So, well, I know I am at login page. Well, login button doesn't work. I don't know what circumstances, like should I click it, should I tap it, or not to, or what should I do? Like, do we have enough information? So no. Well, we do not have enough information, and it's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that if everyone in our team will not try to answer all 3 questions, we might have multiple bugs around login button doesn't work umbrella. Under login button doesn't work umbrella. I might have a bug report describing that. Let's say that's our first bug. It was login button is disabled. So I know where am I, and well, there is no actions. I just need to observe because I cannot click something that is disabled. So let's say, and well, does it fit the umbrella doesn't work? Yes, it does. It doesn't work because it's disabled. Then they fix this bug, but introduce the other one. So it is enabled but not clickable. Login button is enabled but not clickable. Well, okay, super. It doesn't fit umbrella term login button doesn't work. Yes, it does, but it's a different bug. Does it make sense? So if you and your colleague will have this habit of writing the bug report titles in the sense that I can figure out from the bug report title what's happening, instead of using very much umbrella type titles, it's going to be easier for you, for your colleagues. Everyone is going to love you and appreciate you. Does it make sense? Max, did you say no? Don't say no at 8:08 p.m. Okay. Then let's just quickly take a look, and maybe you even would want to even reevaluate your bugs if you when you rewatch Mr. Partnov and reread those two sentences from me. Maybe you would want to revisit your bug report titles. I'm not quite sure about this one. And don't take it personally. My goal here is not to make someone feel uncomfortable. If for number common nothing happens. Well, I can figure out that probably I'm somewhere in create account screen, or maybe I'm in some sort of feedback screen because it depends. If in your application you only have the ability to add phone number in one place and nowhere else, but probably it could be added during sign up, then added during your managing your account. So with brief, I have no idea what it is about. We might be more specific about where is this phone number, because phone number is not as precise as login button. Like we only have login button always, no question asked. Phone numbers might be in different place, and also nothing happens. Well, nothing happens. What? Nothing happens after what? Like I'm missing what is my circumstances here. I do not know exactly what were my actions in order not to for nothing to not to, for nothing not to happen, for anything to happen, or for nothing happen. And usually nothing happen also a little bit broad. If you have nothing happen, well, something was happening when you added the phone number. If you do not mind, let's quickly take a look at the actual results. Sometimes more information are actually in the actual results, and and we have a screenshot. Well, something has happened. We have a screenshot. Something went wrong. Please try again later, right? So once you can say that which circumstances, well, when tapping next button, so after entering the phone number and tapping next button, what we see the message actually here, something went wrong, please try again, alert message has only one. So and we can put it all in our bug report title, and it's going to be understandable for us, because you're going to be filing bugs a year after. You will never remember what actually you did. Like all of them are going to be, I mean, like you would forget what you do it for yourself as well. If you would ever need to find if something has happened before, well, it's going to be easier to find if you have clear bug report titles. Or here also probably not enough information, and we want to answer those three questions. iOS mobile app login is not possible through Google account. Well, yeah, so I understand that is not possible, but I also want to be more aware of in what way. Like you are trying to use your Google account, this single sign-on solution, and then what? Uh, what happens actually? Missing drop-down menu when hovering over. Okay, let me move it Global. No. Yeah. No. So that we can see the whole title. Missing drop-down menu when hovering over learn more in Internet Explorer browser. I have enough information. I know I have to be in Internet Explorer browsing. Those are my circumstances. And when it happens, well, I discover that when I hover over learn more, well, I want to see. I would, it probably would be nice to figure out learn more is what. Learn more is the link, or is there a button, or what it is, or I mean, what it is, what kind of element. And then missing drop down. That's what happens. We missing drop down. So clear. So do you understand the idea? Do you understand the idea in a way that you now will try to apply it to our project? Yes. Oh yeah. So a couple of things about filing bugs for our project, please. The last thing I'm asking you to remember from today, or if you forget, bug reporting rules. So this is the general information that we just went over, and this is the request from me, and that's something that is going to be easier for you to on your eye when you're going to be working with the app. Well, when we have Android and iOS version. If you or when you file a bug report for Android version, could you please, in front of your bug report title, or start your bug report title with LB-A, and then goes to your bug report title. So, or not hyphen, column. So, in this case, on just by looking at the bug, we will see what's going on, and we're also gonna know that it happens in Android. It would be very helpful. Then we will talk about labels the next time. I don't want to overwhelm you. And then, of course, don't forget about environments, what the app version, what your device model. Are you in Android, in Samsung Galaxy S9, or are you in Nexus 5 device model? And then your operating system versions. Are you in Android 9, 10, 11, 12? And same story for iOS when time comes. And then steps, expected, actual, and some attachments when we need it. Link to Jira also included here as well. So exploratory testing. And then we will review a few bugs for the whoever is going to file bugs, and we are going to review them next time. We will start. I will see if we have any bugs. What else do we need to do for the next time, for Monday? Well, please, I don't know how you're going to do this, but please make your command environment variables working, so that you can, when you type ADB devices, it says list of devices attached and not command is not recognized. Because on Monday, we are going to start learning those ADB commands, and we're not going to have a class where I'm going to show you and show you and show you. No, we are going to do it all together, and you are going to post the screenshots in Slack showing that here's how I did it, and this is what I see. And yeah, so please make it work. Try to figure your emulator. Feel more relaxed slightly if you also have Android device, because we are going to start this session with prepare Android device for testing. Nothing is prohibiting you, and if you have Android device, to take a look earlier and enable developer options in between classes. So then please perform exploratory testing of the Looking Bass application, especially if you watch the video. Well, I cannot make you and feel, I know that you are very much overwhelmed, but if you, by watching the video and after performing exploratory testing, will try to come up with 3-4 sentences about your project. Not what you did on the project yet, but about your project. What's the company? What's the idea behind this project? And, are they for which platforms? And post in homework May. log your issues that you find in our Jira. Jira link is over here. And please complete the quiz number 1. So if we compare quizzes that Michael gave, Michael using multiple choice. This one is not a multiple choice. They're open questions. And I'm asking you to please answer them as if you were on the interview right now. I called you and asked you this question. I'm a recruiter, and you are, or we are chatting in Zoom. I don't know, in Slack, and you have to reply to me like in a human language with no definitions. 10 questions, pretty simple one, and that's basically it. Do you have any questions? LBA stands for Android, and then the other one will be LB-iOS for iOS. No, Isaac, I said not that. I said it's better. I mean, first of all, save it for sure, because they are at my personal space, and if I will eventually run out of the space, I might choose to move them into different drive. And I will do my best not to forget to update your class page, but what if I did? So I would suggest to download them anyway. I'm just saying that for me, keeping those documents as Google Drive easier, because I don't have to, I can go ahead and fix something, go ahead and add something. How correctly to exit Android Studio? You can just and also emulator, by the way. Let's close all. With emulator, we use this button and select no. It says that, well, first one is cool, but it's going to, do you want to save current state for the next quick boot? Well, recent save have been slow, seems to be slow, and do we want to save it? Well, no, we don't want to save it, no. Just close it, let's forget about it. And sometimes when you close Android Studio, I don't have it because I already got rid of this annoying dialogue asking me exit or not exit. Yes, exit. They just usually all the code that you have, getting out of saved. I don't know why they have this extra caution. Maybe, I don't know. But this dialogue that asks you to exit or not exit, you can just check, don't ask again, and forget about it. Well, yes, about the project, like company and project. Like, well, it was such and such company, like startup company, blah blah blah. Whatever you will find on the website, on the maybe LinkedIn page. So then, a couple of sentences about the company, and CEO, by the way, also tells about the company and the project, what they produce. Don't yet think about what you've done, what kind of tastings, and we will talk about it later. Make sense? Say makes sense, and we will go home. Okay. Thank you so much for staying longer. Okay, one answer my question. I mean, how to call elements draft inbox etc. Well, no, I don't know. Okay, let me go back. So you mean how to call those screens? Dmitry, how about you will take a screenshot and post it in because I'm not following if you're talking about elements inside the drawer or elements when you're already here and you need to. Dmitry, can you send me screenshot in general? I will reply to you, I promise. Screenshot and your question. I would call it, if we're talking about drawer, I would call them navigation drawer options, and I would stay with this one, because honestly do not know how each element, but you don't have to go too technical. Those can be text view, in the app, in the code. This element can call text view or list view, it's going to be already too deep. Like, who cares what view? Like, I mean, we call them because those are guys are reusable. Text view, list view. So we don't have to call that deep. If I answer your question, if not, let's go to Slack. Good night. Okay, I'll see you on Monday or in Slack.